Today's dish comes from the Balearic Islands in Catalonia. It's a very simple dish. Coca is based in a communal oven and it has its origins in ancient Greece. Here's the dough. It's a quick yeasted dough. Flour, water, olive oil, dry yeast, and a bit of salt. The first step is to put our flour into a clean bowl. Then we add some lukewarm water to the mix, followed by our yeast. And then afterwards what we do is we add our olive oil, and finally we add a bit of salt and we begin to mix. Now if you're using a machine, as soon as the dough starts to clear the sides cleanly, it's ready to finish off by hand. We flour a surface, a little bit of flour, just like so, and then what we do is we roll it out by hand. If you did it by machine, the dough becomes too tough. So we flour our dough a bit, and we just roll it out by hand until it's a bit shiny and it bounces back when you touch it. And that's it. Afterwards, we oil another bowl and we put our dough back into that and allow it to rest for approximately 1 hour with a cover on top. Now that the dough has doubled up in size, we're going to punch it down and degas it a bit. So we give it a few hits, flour another piece of cloth. We're going to spread out our dough onto a baking sheet, and we're going to lay this cloth on top of the dough and let it rest again for approximately an hour. Afterwards, it's ready to add our topping. Traditionally, there are very few ingredients with coca. Here I'm using fresh garden tomatoes, some roasted bell pepper, but traditionally you'd use a piquillo pepper, but here you just take the skin and the seeds out. I'm also going to add some pine nuts and fresh rosemary. Few ingredients as directed. So the first step is to slice up our peppers into rajas or thin strips. So you take your time, cut uniform strips out of the peppers, and you should get a bunch of them that look like this. Next, we thinly slice our tomato. Try and keep it as uniform as possible. And then what we do is we lay it down directly onto our dough. Keep it simple, straightforward. Next, we add our pepper strips on top of our tomatoes. Next, we add our rosemary, a little bit of a pattern all over. And finally, we add some pine nuts or piñones all over our coca. Gives it a bit of texture. Then we put it into a hot oven at 425 for 25 minutes, and it comes out looking like this. Cut a slice to have with a glass of wine. Now, the wine I would serve with this would be a Rioja, a medium fruity type wine that really enhances the flavor of the tomato and the peppers. The next time you're in Spain or having tapas at home or having memories about that rave in Ibiza, think of coca, a simple food from the Balearic Islands. Cheers, everyone.